Hey everyone, the Arthur Gaming here, and welcome to my video series, Unusual Characters. In this video series, I'm trying to show you the slight differences, especially in combat-wise, between an optimal build of a character and an unusual build for a character. In this one here, in this video, we're going to go with unusual characters, and we're going to go with the Bard. Very good class, support class, healer, support class. They're all around a cool character. If you just want to play some, rockin' musician out there who also gets to do cool magic stuff, a Bard is right up there for you. So we're going to take a look at what would be a good race and what would be a not great race statistically or, numbers wise to play for a Bard. I'm going to use just Player's Handbook for this, only because there are tons of races out there. If you throw in all of the books and trying to go through all of them and decide which one to pick would take a while. And there's also homebrew stuff, so you can get into all sorts of crazy stuff that ends up with a little more optimal of a build for you. But we're going to go with just from the Player's Handbook. So if we bring up our D&D Beyond, we're looking at our Bard. And I'm going to scroll down here so we can see what good scores we want, right? We want Dexterity, Charisma, right? So the Bard is going to use Charisma for casting their spells, which they have lots of spells. Again, spell casting class. And Dexterity they're going to use for their armor class. Probably want to stick with some finesse weapons or ranged weapons like a bow or something to take advantage of that. If we look at races... Dragonborn, Strength and Charisma. It's got Charisma, but Strength, Dwarf, Constitution. If you look at the sub races for Dwarf, you end up with a bonus of Strength, Wisdom, and Strength. I think they all are. Elves, there's lots of subclasses here, and Dexterity is good, although not the one we're going to use. Because none of the subclasses in the Player's Handbook give you a bonus to Charisma. And whereas Dexterity is important, Charisma is more important for spell casting. The Gnome, +2 to Intelligence, not optimal. Half-Elf, +2 to Charisma, +1 to 2 other ability scores. Sounds like winner, chicken dinner to me. We'll get our +2 to Charisma, we'll get a +1 to Dexterity, and a +1 to maybe Constitution, because that's going to help our hit points. And, hit points are survival. Halfling, +2 to Dex, good one. There may even be a bonus to Charisma in there somewhere, I'm not sure. Half-Orcs, +2 Strength Con. +2 Strength, +1 Con, not very optimal. Humans, all around good. Probably on most lists for almost every class out there. Humans going to be like number 3 or so on the list. They're always going to end up high because they get just a bonus to all ability scores. Or if you use the variant, they get +1 to 2 ability scores and a feat. And then the Tiefling, Charisma, good. Intelligence, not great for this. So we're going to go with Half-Elf for our optimal. And Half-Orc. We're going to do the Battle of the Halves for our suboptimal. I don't know, for me, again, playing weird, fun characters is what I like to do. So the idea of having this gigantic half-orc in the back of the band, if you're playing like a bard band, and he or she is, hitting a big drum or playing a lute or something, or even funnier, having a just gigantic, like 6'6" male half-orc, 250 pounds, and he's got castanets, and he's back there dancing and playing the castanets. Just, I don't know, just cracks me up, makes me laugh, and I would like to see that in a game, so that's why I'm choosing it. So we look at our standard Bard. I have taken a standard array. I have placed it Charisma, Dexterity, so 15 in Charisma, 14 Dexterity, 13 Con, 12 in Intelligence, 10 Strength, 8 in Wisdom, which I think I screwed that up in my Unusual Bard, actually. I flipped that around in my Unusual Bard when I built it, so let's fix that. Let's go to our abilities. I put the 12 in Intelligence. So that'll make a slight bit of difference, but not much. Okay, so look at our standard Bard. Ability scores are going to be in the same place. I added the same equipment. I have equipped the same equipment, so everything is identical. The only difference here is race. So our half-elf Bard, our standard, or our optimal Bard, is 10 hit points, AC 13, and its rapier is +4 to hit, 1d8 +2 damage. Our unusual bard, 10 hit points, AC 13, +4 to hit, 1d8 +2 damage. So if you're making a bard whose idea is to just run around and hack things up with a rapier in this case, it doesn't matter, right? Your half elf is the same as your half orc. I think half orc is cooler and neater and different. So that's where I would lean. However, in this case, it makes no difference. However, let's take a look at spells. If you look at spells for the half orc bard, +4 spell attack with a save DC of 12. Right? So that's our half orc bard. So that's our not optimal bard. And then if we look at our standard bard, which is the half elf, and look at spells, +5 attack, save DC 13. So this is important. I'm not discounting this and saying it's not important. This is very important. You know, spells for bards, you know, are very important. You know, vicious mockery, for instance. So there is a difference here. And of course, your half elf is a little more optimal, as we said. So there is going to be a difference here. This is at first level. So now let's take both characters. Let's jump them to 5th level. Choose all the same options, and let's see how it differs. So if we go here to the builder, we take our bard to level 5. As far as feats and stuff go, I'm just going to go with ability score improvements and make the same choices for both of them. For a bard college, let's just choose College of Swords. Pretty obvious, straightforward. Expertise, we'll just choose, you know, the 2 top ones because I'm not really looking at skills right now, so not a big deal. We'll choose ability score improvement. We will choose charisma because that's charisma, and we'll choose dexterity. Not constitution, dexterity. I gotta choose fighting style. Fighting style, we'll go with dueling, and we'll hit that. Go to our unusual bard and do the exact same thing. So let's choose our bard. Let's go to level 5. Let's go to bard college. Let's choose our College of Swords. But that gives us, where did the bonus proficiencies come in? Did I not choose these before? I don't know what those bonus. I chose College of Lore. That's why. College of Swords. Boom. There we go. Fighting style instead. I don't know how I chose that by accident, but I did. Expertise will choose the same. You know, acrobatics and animal handling. I guess that's a good point to always pay attention to what you're clicking on, and when something doesn't make sense, try and find out why. So charisma, dexterity for our bonuses. So these 2 classes or characters should be exactly the same. So now level 5 half elf bard. This is our standard bard, our optimal bard. And if you look, 38 hit points, an armor class of 14. Our rapier is +6 to hit, 1d8 +5 damage. So if this stays consistent, it should be pretty close to the unusual bard, which has 38 hit points, armor class 13, which I think it was different, right? 14 because dexterity made an even number, so that's a difference. And then +5 to hit for a die 8 +4 compared to the +6 to hit for die 8 +5. So here's where our difference comes in, right? The other standard optimal class reached a different bonus for their dexterity, so here's where a 1-point difference comes in. A, if that really matters, because if you're really attacking with your rapier that often, but B, if you look at the monsters in the monster manual, their armor classes go to like 21, 22, maybe 23 at some point in time. Does the +1 make that big of a difference? At the lower levels, sure. I give you, it does make a difference, which is why it's a more optimal build. And let's look at spells now. So our unusual bard, which is our half orc, is a +6 to hit with a save DC of 14. Our standard bard is +7 hit DC of 15. So again, the same. The optimal build is 1 point ahead. That's important. Not saying it's not. However, I like the idea of the flavor behind the half orc, as I've said. So let's take another look. Let's build again. Let's jump this guy to level 10. make same options that I have. So another ability score improvement. Ability score improvement. We're going to go with charisma again. And we're going to go with dexterity again. Expertise, we'll just choose, doesn't really matter. Magical secrets, what are these? Oof. Lots of options here. Not sure what the best option is. I haven't played a bard in 5th edition yet. So let's see, this says, oh, choose 2 spells from any classes, including this one, and just get two bonus spells. So okay, we'll just choose any 2 for right now. We're just choosing some crappy spells because we don't really care. Not for this matter. Bring that character back, go to our unusual bard, edit it, take it to level 10. Make the same choices, I hope. Unless I misclick again. Charisma. Dexterity. Almost chose strength. Did you notice that? Arcana. Deception. Magical secrets. We'll choose the same 2. Okay. Alright, so our standard bard. Half-elf bard, level 10. We have 73 hit points, AC 14, and our rapiers plus 7 to hit, doing die 8 plus 5 damage. Our unusual bard, which is a half-orc, 73 hit points, AC 14, plus 7 to hit, 1d8 plus 5 damage. Exactly the same. So now we're looking at, we're catching up in the physical categories again. Staying the same. Armor class went up because the half-orcs dexterity went up. Because we're going up by 1. I know I could have done plus 2 in there somewhere and made a difference of a jump. I'm trying to level them up evenly. Adding in that charisma and dexterity are both important instead of just jumping charisma up until it's to the max. And now we look at spells. So for the unusual bard, the half-orc, we're looking at a plus 7 attack with 15 DC. I believe our half-elf's going to still be ahead, right? Plus 8 with a 16. Right, so again, slightly ahead. Yes, it's important, but it's only ahead by 1. And now we'll take a jump to level 20. I have not played a level 20 character in 5th edition. I've dungeon mastered for them, but I have not played them yet. So this should be interesting to see all the options I get to choose here. We're going to choose charisma again. We're going to choose dexterity. I think at some point we may run out of charisma or dexterity. We'll add a couple more spells. Again, these spells don't really matter because I'm not looking at the spells anyway. Another ability score improvement. Again, now feats will make. So now charisma's maxed, so I can't do charisma. So I'll do my dexterity, and I'll do my constitution. And I'll make the same choice with the other one, right? Choose whatever, doesn't matter. Enemy objects, and that's okay. And again, another option for ability scores. And we'll choose dexterity again, and we'll choose constitution again. All right, so here's our level 20 bard with the optimal build. Let's go here. Let's take our suboptimal build, or our unusual bard, and let's try and make the same choices. Ability score improvement, charisma, and dexterity. Magical secrets, doesn't really matter, right? We're not looking at the spells anyway as far as like what the individual spells are. Another ability score improvement. This is where we might start to see a change because I can still choose charisma here, which I think in the other one I couldn't. Well, this is where some catch up is going to happen, right? And now I realize we're talking level 20. We're talking, most people don't generally get to level 20. I understand that. But if you are going to be playing, again, here we go, charisma again, that we could not choose in the other one, and dexterity, which the other one we were choosing charisma or constitution at this point. So we may see some hit point discrepancy here. So, yes, I realize not many people get to level 20. Although if you're going to play in a campaign where you think you might get even close to that, and you're thinking long term, which is why you're thinking, I got to be an optimal character, maybe at the higher levels it doesn't matter as much. So if we look at our standard bard, yeah, we're seeing a hit point difference now, right? 163 hit points, 16 armor class. Our attack is plus 11 for die 8 plus 7. 143 hit points. Big difference here because the constitution bonus is plus 1, right? So there's 20 hit point difference because of the con bonus. 15 AC, which is the same, or 16 AC over here because dexterity is higher. And plus 10 to hit for die 8 plus 6 compared to plus 11 for die 8 plus 7. So now our optimal build, our standard build, has actually taken the lead physically against the unusual build, which is weird, right? Because we chose a half orc, which you picture as this big physical character, and actually at the high levels, physically it's falling behind. Magically, at 20th level, plus 11 spell attack for the unusual bard, the half orc, plus 11 spell attack for a save DC 19, and the standard bard, plus 11 spell attack, save DC 19. So as we see, physically they were the same through the first couple that we did, and then at 20th level, boom, the optimal build jumped ahead. And magically, if you look at them, which is important because bards are magical characters, the unusual was behind by a point for the beginning, and then at the end, and at the high levels, it catches up. So again, not that this isn't important. However, if you look, this still takes your suboptimal build and at 20th level puts it 1 point behind in the physical side and equal in the magic side, and not that big of a difference. Hit points wise, we see the half elf had an edge over the half orc, which I find hilarious as well. So that's pretty much my point here, folks. Play something different. Don't always go with just your standard, all bards are half elves, all barbarians are half orcs, etc. Go with something different. Go with something wacky. Do something strange. For me, I like to do that because it ends up, in my opinion, more interesting and different. If you do end up going to like a Gen Con or a gaming convention somewhere out there and you sit down at a table to play Adventurers League or something, you won't end up with that table full of, the same class. That's what I love about 5th edition. I think the archetypes help to divide the characters out better. In previous editions, like if we go back to 2nd edition, which was a great edition, don't get me wrong. However, a 12th level fighter looked like almost every other 12th level fighter. You didn't have feats, you didn't have subclasses, none of that stuff. So I think 5th edition adds this variance, which makes characters seem more unique and more different. So if we're looking for more unique and we're looking for different, why are we sticking with the same races for all of our classes to be optimal, right? So that's what we're down to. As always, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video if you thought it was good. Let me see some comments. Let me know if you're liking what I'm doing with these videos. If there's something different you want to see. Follow me on Instagram at the Arthur of Gaming. Links are also in my bio for my Instagram to come here to my video, etc. Check all that out. I hope to keep making very good content for you guys. As always, it's a crazy world out there, everybody. Stay safe.